Hello. Happy Saturday. Hi, Edward. How are you? And congratulations again on being the winner of my surprise giveaway. Um, I am just going to be on here for a little bit, but I did want to bring up this topic of universal income. I have something playing on my phone. Anyway, so this topic was brought up by one of my members, King of Kill, sent me a video that we've seen likely before because I talked about automation a couple of times. And there's a lot of stats that basically say by 2030, a majority of our jobs are going to be taken over by automation, right? There's robots as a service that is trending right now. There's tons of investment going into this. So, my question, what I want to talk about today is whether we're literally going to be forced into having a universal basic income, not just in the United States where I'm based, but throughout the world. Is that just going to be something we'll have to do? Elon Musk, he says it's inevitable. We're just going to have it, right? Also, Edward, let me know if you can hear me okay. I don't have AirPods in. I don't have my mic over here set up either, but I can if I need to. Okay, so that's the question. Are we actually going to be forced into universal basic income? Let's react to a video that I think does a really good job of talking about universal basic income. My view of universal basic income is not welfare, which a lot of people just think, oh, we're expanding the welfare system or unemployment system. That's not really universal basic income. So the welfare system, like, there are constraints, right? If you make a certain amount above the number stipulated, you're out. You lose all your benefits. I don't care if it's like $5 more, you're out. Adios. And so that brings that mentality of, oh, people don't want to work or they don't want to get, certain jobs because they're going to be knocked out of that system. Well, if it's, if you have a system that basically reprimands you for doing better with your life, even if it's like a little bit better, right? Just a little bit of increase. Well, then, yeah, it would make sense that people are a little worried about their benefits, especially if they have children, right? So there's this kind of thought that people have of like, oh, people are just being lazy. They don't want to get off of the system. Well, sure, you're going to have some of that, just like there are tons of rich people being lazy right now, like as we speak, sitting back on the beach, making money, right? Not doing anything. So you're going to have some of that. But a majority, they just don't want to be still in a state of low income and then not even getting the benefits. Because if you're making $500,000, a couple $1,000s more, a lot of times it's not really impactful. Sometimes you get out of a tax bracket, even if you're $1 over, right? You're getting taxed more. And it's like, well, I'm on the lower end of that tax bracket. So a lot of people do relate universal basic income to the welfare system or the unemployment system. Unemployment system, it has constraints. Like there's certain things you need to do to be on unemployment. It's a time limit, and you have to go to a certain amount of jobs. You have to take the first job that is offered. You're not technically supposed to turn down an offer, even if you're like, this has nothing to do with my actual skill set. I just applied because you told me I need to apply to everything. So, and there's a certain number I need to apply to. That's not universal basic income either. Universal basic income would basically give anyone a set number. So a lot of people are talking about $1,000. Like, you're just giving everyone $1,000. Take us back to when we, had the stimulus check. So everyone's just getting it. Not everyone got the stimulus check. I know that, but a large percentage of people did. So you have this kind of set number that everyone's going to have that should keep them above the poverty line, right? And the impact of that is, I disassociate from welfare, is you're going to be either way getting the money. So it's not discouraging people from doing better with themselves and getting a better paying or getting a job, getting a better paying job, starting a business, doing things that bring them more money, because it's not like they're going to get reprimanded. It's not like we're telling them, hey, you can get this money and some benefits, but once your income hits above this levels, it's out. We're done. No, universal basic income, when people are talking about it, they're just saying, look, everyone gets the money. There's no constraints tied to it. If you make more money, good for you, right? Congratulations. You're not going to be reprimanded. You're actually incentivized because you make more money. You get to buy up more things. You get to do more things, right? So that is my take on it. I do want to find the video. I do see some of the comments in here. Let me look on StreamYard because I can see them on my phone, but they're like going. So let me see what you all are saying. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. Hey, y'all. Hello, Cool Gamer. I didn't see you earlier, but hello. Welcome. Hello, Zero. How are you? Happy Saturday. MLW Fishing Man. Hello. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Audio is good. Thank you. Because I would have just been talking and y'all wouldn't have been able to hear me. Thank you, Edward. All right. So Perfectly Made Man says, hello, loud and clear. Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So Perfectly Made Man. I want to say man-made naturally, but Perfectly Made Man. Okay. First looking at it, it sounds great, but when you think about what you might have to do to keep getting it or what type of stipulations. Well, when folks are talking about universal basic income, they're saying everyone's just getting it. This is like, so most people are at zero, right? If you don't do anything, you're at zero. Like you get nothing. That's it. Big zero. You're not doing anything. You're not investing. You're not getting dividend money. You're not creating a business and making money that way. You're not selling something. You're not working for somebody else for a paycheck. You're not putting out a service or anything like that to get paid. You're not creating content and getting AdSense money. You're not going to get anything. You're going to get zero. So universal basic income sets the stage for everyone. So it's not like, in my view, poverty is going to go away with this system necessarily, depending on how we're thinking of it. There's still going to be people on the poor end of that system, because if they're at that bottom, if they're at the basic income level, then there's people getting that income and then they're making, I don't know, $500,000 a year, because that doesn't impact them. They're not decentivized from making money. They're just put at a level of like, hey, you're not necessarily going to have zero if you don't do anything. We're paying you for your life. We see your life for being born. Here you go. It's what you're going to get. So I get what you're saying. There definitely will be some stipulations around it in terms of how do we pay for it. That's going to be the thing. And a lot of folks are saying, in terms of payment, take away the welfare system and universal basic income replaces it. All of the programs that are tied to specifically the welfare programs, all those people you have to pay to run that, squash that. That's not working. You're basically incentivizing people. I don't really think that, but for most people, but a lot of people think you're incentivizing people to just sit and stay on welfare. So if that's not working, let's move over to a new system. There's still going to be the rich. There's still going to be the middle income level. There's still going to be poor people. I mean, if you're in a room with a billionaire and you're a millionaire, you're going to feel a little poor. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You're not really poor, but you're going to feel, you're not going to feel at their level. Zero says, thank you, Zero. I appreciate that. Guys, I'm going out to dinner later, so I'm trying to pick between dresses. So I am wearing red, but I don't think I'm going to wear that later. Thank you for sharing me out, Edward. I appreciate that. It's not going to be that simple. Of course, it's not simple. The welfare system that's in place now isn't really simple. It's not simple. We're going to have to think about it. We're going to have to really figure out, and it's likely not going to be perfect. But our system now also is not perfect. And the key thing that I want to talk about is automation. 2030 is not that far away. And I made a video where I talked about warehouse jobs and how there were studies done. And they said by 2030, a percentage of these jobs are just going to go, and it's going to continue. So more and more jobs are going to be taken away, because if you look at things, food industry, service industry, retail, more and more companies are saying, look, we can't find employees are cutting up, we just don't want to deal with it, because they have to pay HR people to actually deal with people issues. Bobby is cutting up today. he's making everyone uncomfortable. Bobby didn't bathe today, and he's smelling up the office. I don't know why I'm picking on Bobby. I don't even know anyone named Bobby. Bobby is shoving people on the line. Like they can't even put the items onto the line because Bobby keeps shoving people out of the way. Issues that you have to pay people for. Well, you don't have to pay people for those issues with a robot. Robot is, he's set. There's a system in place where he knows to do this job, and that's what he's going to do. You save a lot of money. Robot can work 24/7, or if that robot is out of function, you put in another one, right? Robots as a service, where you don't pay unless that robot is actively working. You don't even pay for the robots unless they're working. Robots as a service is happening. And the more and more we learn in terms of artificial intelligence, machine learning, the robots can learn, we're hitting other jobs that are not just task driven. That's what I want to get at, because Elon Musk says it's going to be inevitable. We're just going to have to do it because a majority of people aren't going to be getting jobs. But unless the robots actually create more jobs, that's the question, but we don't really know. Will the robots create more jobs? Maybe for people that can fix the robots, maybe for people that are very data driven, that can take data from those machines or figure out ways to, enhance the world that we'll be in with more use of robots, maybe more use of softwares. I don't know. But I do agree with you. It won't be too simple. Hello, Perspective Gaming. Welcome. How are you doing? Happy Saturday. There's a little static. Oh, there's a little static. Does everyone hear me static, or what's going on? Hi, Barry. Oh, thanks for being here, Barry. Oh, you missed the giveaway, Barry. But thank you so much for being a member. Shout out to my members in the chat. Definitely hit the like button as you were coming in. So what do you think? Are you for or against UBI? Do you think it is inevitable? Do you think the world is going to have to be on the system? I'm not just talking about in this video the United States, because Canada has done a trial run of universal basic income. I think other countries as well, of course, are some of our European countries. They're going to. They're probably closer to it than we are here in the United States, honestly. Jessica's just over there being what? Okay. I messed up your name. Hey, I just say the first couple. Listen, I just say the first letters I see. That's what I do. But great, thank you. I appreciate that. You're welcome for the coffee, Edward. Your fancy coffee. Companies have been looking for ways to get rid of people and keep all the money. So here's the thing. Now, with the universal basic income conversation in terms of the robotics, a couple ideas. So first, companies are going to have to pay even for the robots. They will, but it will be substantially less than paying for people and their benefits and their issues and their mess ups, right? They'll likely use different companies to use robots from a service perspective. So that way they're only paying when robots are actually working. They can swap them out when they're, out of function and things like that. Kind of like how people, how companies will lease computers and things. They'll swap it out when it's bad and get a new one for their people to work on. The other thing is taxes. This is the question that's raised by some about automation. Like, do these robots, like people using the robots, they need to get taxed because you're getting less income from people, right? If Zero is saying, hey, the robot took my job, the robot needs to pay taxes now because I'm not paying the taxes. That's another thing to consider. Hello, Ryan. Oh, hello from Ukraine. Hello. You won't have to pay a robot until they become self-aware and demand to be paid. I love that comment, Zero, because have you seen some of the shows that are like real world, like what it's going to be when robots actually get consciousness, and then they're like, wait, we're treated like slaves, we deserve better, and then they revolt, and then so that's the other thing to think of. We don't know what robots would do. Literally, people right now are working on creating robots to be more human and to have consciousness. What does that mean for humans? I don't know. But that's true. That's something to think about. I don't think we're quite there in that terms just yet, but yeah, definitely. Good. I'm glad to hear that perspective, Gaming. I'm glad you're doing well on this lovely Saturday. There is literally literally in my face, sunshine. Let's see. Robots can make things easier for companies, but they malfunction, then they could potentially cause a lot of damage to the company. Yes. Like, for example, we're talking about Elon Musk. Well, what about Tesla? What about these cars? They're self-driving, but what if they malfunction? What if there's some flaw in the system? They do something wrong, they have a lawsuit on their hands. People don't trust it anymore. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of kinks to get through in terms of just living in a society where there's a majority of robotics happening all around. But there's a lot of investment happening, so they're going to get around that. And if one malfunctions, you swap it in for another one. That's what I'm seeing. I don't really want to see it, but you can't help but see it. They keep acting like we're broke. They can't afford to give people another stimulus, but they can give us UBI. I just look at them sideways sometimes because they are so contradictory. Politicians, oh yeah, the politicians are just, listen, they're just in it for their pockets. They don't care about us little people. Some may in the beginning, but I feel like those that have been in politics for a long time, please. I just can't see it. I don't believe it. Some may have started out really good, but hey, I just don't see any good typically happening from some of the politicians' efforts. But, there are definitely some in government that are really working towards figuring this out and trying to get ahead of what they see coming. So I can't say they're all bad. But yes, there's a lot of contradictions because we also, as a country, we're very contradictory. We can't even, simple things we're contradictory on. So, of course, something as big as universal basic income, yeah, we're not going to be able to agree. All right, it'll take us a while to get there. There would have to be, I feel like, turmoil and it to be so serious for us to legit, say, yes, we're doing this, right? For it to be nationwide type of thing versus state by state. Hello, Mr. 100 Rounds. How are you? Hey. Legal labor will still be around. I think, of course, a lot of illegal activity are inevitable, right? But there is a question about immigration, because what if one country has universal basic income, let's say the United States? Well, what about people that are literally just coming here to get that universal basic income? And then we have another issue of how do we even sustain it, because we're projecting certain things and then that throws it off. So there's also going to be people that are anti-immigration. If we did have this system in place, what does that mean for immigration in the United States? Do we have as big of a case to have more people come to the United States, or whatever the country, Sweden or Norway or Ghana or wherever? Do you have a good case to say, yes, we need people if there's less work? Because if, let's say, restaurant jobs are going away because they have Zippy or Skippy or whatever it is that's cooking all the food. What do we do then? We have robots bringing the food out. You just use a QR code to pay, to look at the menu, to do all that. You don't really need a waiter anymore. You got the robot bringing everything. I've seen this robot in action at a restaurant, actually. So what do you do in that environment? The restaurant jobs are gone. We used to have it where you couldn't find workers. They built robots, and now they're out. They got to look for other jobs. Well, some people are going to go back to school. They're going to get tech jobs, software engineering jobs, coding jobs, whatever. What happens when we no longer need as many tech folks? Because now robots can now code. It's just a really weird scenario that we're in. But anyway, I want to play the video. Let me get through some of these comments. Hello, Mr. Wait, what? I hope you're not trolling me. I'm just gonna laugh at your name. Thank you for being here. Just so I can see your name. That's funny. I told that a year ago about robots being treated like, essentially. Very honestly, no, I'll get through the storm. Oh, I hope you're doing okay, Perspective Gaming. Are you okay? I just saw I must have missed a comment. The sun is over there hating on you because you're looking at the sun is over here bringing the sunshine, bringing all the light. I thought Andrew Yang's plan for UBI was great. $1,000 per month is still not a lot, but it would help. I like the idea. Exactly. Here's the thing, though, that I do question. $1,000 a month. You all know how I think about like $1,000 a month, really. Especially seeing the inflation, seeing another problem that we're going to have is the lack of land, the lack of housing. Is that really going to be enough if we're technically still going to be in a state of rising prices? So is it inevitable that prices end up rising and $1,000 feels like now $100,000 because everyone gets $1,000? Those that are working are raising prices, kind of like I'm here in Texas, and then people from California. I came from New York, so people probably complain about me too. But people from higher cost of living states, higher paying states, come here, raise up the prices of things. Now it doesn't feel like their income can stretch so far because all the prices are raised thanks to people like me coming over here. So that's another thing to think about. Which I don't really feel like they're talking about me. I feel like they're talking about people making like $500,000 a year, coming from New York and California, coming here and then raising the price. I don't feel like I'm really in that bunch, but yeah. Hello, Angie Poo. Welcome. Ooh, Virgin Islands. Have fun. Drink up for me. Enjoy the sun. Enjoy the beach. All of that. I missed the beach. I was at a beach a little getaway for my birthday. I really miss the beach. I wish there was a beach nearby me. 1,000 a month. I know zero. That's what I'm thinking because I think of Dave Ramsey's. Oh, save $1,000 for emergency fund. I'm like, what kind of emergency is that going to help with? And he always quotes this person lost their job, right? How much is their rent or mortgage? It's not $1,000. How much is their like benefits cost? How much is their food? How much are like if they have children? Like $1,000? I'm just like no. I would say at least 3,000. But hey, it's starting somewhere, right? Taking away from your. Wait, I don't know what you're talking about. I must have totally missed the comment. Okay, so let me see if I can find this video that I actually want you all to see because I thought it did a really good job of walking through UBI. Okay, I think it was this one. So it's a 10-minute video and I'm going to pull it up. I'll react to it just so it's not like marked and taken down or anything like that. Okay, let's see. Let's get through this ad. I'm going to watch it a little bit. It's a sweet green ad because I just went there. It's crazy how that works. Okay, let me turn up the volume. Oh, wait, this is another ad. No. Okay, getting through the ad. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Yeah, I truly think Dave Ramsey is out of touch. Okay, y'all keep me from this video, but yes, like so I had to stop listening to Dave Ramsey. I listened to him for a bit. I think his basics of rethinking about money, I think is great. I think the baby steps in terms of thinking differently about money. Every dollar has a function, basically. Yes. But some of the things that he says, I'm just like, but you know that this costs that and that costs this. Like, do you know the cost of things? Like, I want someone to call in and be like, what's the cost of milk? What's the cost of eggs in your area? What's the cost of gas? How much is a typical car payment? Like, I really want people to just call into his show. Maybe I should do that one day. Just be like, so, Mr. Ramsey, can you tell me the cost of these things in your area? Because he doesn't, like, does he even do his own shopping? At that level, like, no. You need to cool it and let someone that actually understands, like some of his co-hosts seem a lot more relatable than he does at this point. Even his daughter, even though I don't love her voice, I don't like her voice. I know people don't like my voice based on a comment on here, but some people. But I can see her as being way more relatable than her dad. Someone's like running through my building. Okay, so let's start the video. Let's see. Perfectly Made Man says he probably doesn't pay attention to prices anymore. Right? Listen. Now, I will say there are certain things that I don't pay attention to the price as much, but I see it. Like, I can see the price. I'm not harping on it, but I can see it. Okay, so share tab audio, all that good stuff. Can you all see the video? Yay, nay, let me know. Oh, thank you, Zero. Thank you, I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Okay, so let's play it. I am gonna mute myself so there's not, hopefully, an echo. If there's an echo, let me know. Thank you for letting me know you can see the video. All right, let's go.
What if the state covered your cost of living? Would you still go to work? Go back to school? Not work at all? What would you do? This concept is called a Universal Basic Income, or UBI, and it's nothing less than the most ambitious social policy of our times. In 2017, basic income is gaining momentum around the world. First trials are ongoing or on their way, and a growing number of countries are considering UBI as an alternative to welfare. How would it work, and what are the key arguments for and against? Right now, people can't really agree what universal basic income is or should be. Some want to use it to eliminate welfare and cut bureaucracy. Others want to.
I'm pausing there again so the video doesn't get striked, but also because of the fact that they're saying really it shouldn't be welfare, it should be replacing welfare. And they're going to talk more about this in a bit. Okay, you can see the video. You can hear the video too, Edward. Hopefully, yes. I'm going to keep playing it.
As a free extra for existing programs, or even want it to be so high that work itself becomes optional. For this video, we'll talk mostly about the minimum basic income, enough money to be above the poverty line. In the US, this means about $1,000 a month or $12,000 a year. The money would not be taxed, and you could do whatever you wanted with it. In this scenario, UBI is a way of transferring the wealth of a society while still keeping the free market intact. But
okay, I have a small issue because my view is it doesn't really help the issue if people are, let's see, if people are we're all getting the income, right? We have this basic level income. Does it just shift the type of poverty that people are in so that there's less people out in the streets and things of that nature, but they're still feeling pretty poor compared to everyone else. That's my thing, and where I think it doesn't work. I like everything about it, ideally. Like, it sounds amazing. However, what I keep thinking of is inflation. How much is that $1,000 really going to be worth at the end of the day if everyone gets the income? And what are people going to do with it? People that actually need the money are likely going to spend it. So it's just going to go out. Whereas, kind of like what we saw with here in the US, the stimulus dollars. Okay, so people that didn't really need the money, what did they do? Yeah, they might have spent some of it, but those that were financially educated put their money and invested either in a business. I shared a community post about a woman that invested her money into her own business. Now she's making bank. Other people may invest in the stock market or other businesses, crypto, whatever is really thriving at the time. So it doesn't really go so far.
Spend on booze and stop working? A 2013 study by the World Bank specifically examined if poor people waste their handouts on tobacco and alcohol if they receive it in the form of cash. The clear answer: no, they don't. The opposite is true. Other studies have shown that the richer you are, the more drugs and alcohol you consume. The lazy and drunk poor person is a stereotype rather than reality. What about laziness? Universal basic income test runs done in Canada in the 1970s showed that around 1% of the recipients stopped working, mostly to take care of their kids. On average, people reduced their working hours by less than 10%. The extra time was used to achieve goals like going back to school or looking for better jobs. But if laziness and drugs are not a huge deal, why doesn't our current welfare state solve poverty? Welfare.
Okay, so I think with the whole thinking that people are just going to drink it up and do different things with it, you're going to have some of that. Just like when you look at really wealthy people, what are they doing with their money? A lot of them are drinking it up and doing all kinds of other illegal activities too. But for the majority, those that actually need it are going to use it to spend on things that they need. So that argument to me doesn't even, there's just no point of even bringing that up. It doesn't really matter what they're, if we're saying people are going to need a universal basic income, everyone's going to get at a certain level. My question is, and Zero is saying 10,000 would be better. I feel like that's more reasonable. Like, everyone could kind of live a middle class type of lifestyle on $10,000 a month. However, are we going to continue increasing that? Because the level is going to change. And how long does it take to change the amount? I feel like once that's in place, will that be kind of the number for forever? And then it still doesn't really help. So anyway, this video, I'm going to put a link to it in here because I'm running out of time. I didn't want to be on here too long. And I need to finish getting ready. I don't think I'm going to choose this dress. I'm going to go with something else for dinner tonight. But this is the video. Let me see if I can pin it. And I can't. I can start it. So that's the video. Check it out. There's another one. There's a couple that I watched. This one was kind of simple, but there's other ones where they're talking about more in-depth automation and the impact that it's going to have. And my view is, if we're saying that thousands of jobs are going to go away, we have to be able to shift to something. And universal basic income, one thing that I really like about it is, at least for percentage of time, if you have a basic income that you're going to have, and you're saying that there are no stipulations around it, everyone gets it. So even if you get a job, if you go to school, if you earn an income, you start a business, you're going to have this. I feel like ideally, depending on what culture you're in, if it's a capitalistic type of culture like the United States, you're going to have more people doing the things that they really like, and getting paid for it, right? So instead of people just doing these task driven jobs that automation is going to take care of for us, well, then now people, if they don't have to worry about just the basics of getting their basic food, basic housing costs, whatever, then they can aspire to, oh, I want more out of life. I want some luxuries out of life. How do I get that? How can I think creatively? Like, it's great that I can like survive. I can survive, because right now we don't have that. It's, you start at zero. If you can't pay, if you're not getting income, oh well. Yes, there is welfare. There is welfare. But again, there's stipulations around that. And once you're in that system, your thinking may start to change because of the decentralization around getting higher income. Because normally your income doesn't just shoot up. You don't go from $40,000 typically to making $80,000. So the impact of you going from 40,000 to maybe 45,000 could mean you losing your benefits. And of course people are going to think about that, right? It's not really incentivizing doing better. Whereas if you're like, okay, I'm always going to get this income, but I know I want all these luxuries in life. I want to do better. I want to do something that I enjoy. How can I make money from it? I believe it will bring about more creativity, more innovation, and more entrepreneurship. Again, if you have the right culture, if you have the capitalistic culture. Now, if you're in a culture that is not, I'm just going to say not capitalistic, because I don't know if YouTube is not liking certain words that I will say, but the thinking may be different, and people may just go, oh, kicking back. And I'm just going to be here. This is cool. I like this. This is kind of similar to what we had before. This is great. I don't know. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. If you have other thoughts later, put them down in the comment section. This was just meant to be a little chit chat about the topic. But at the end of the day, I will answer the question of the video. Do I think automation is going to make a universal basic income inevitable? I do, unless there are more jobs created from it that allow people to be very creative and to do things that are more career driven versus just job driven. Because right now there's plenty of people just working these jobs. Literally I saw a video yesterday, another content creator shared it. And there was this man, he was literally breaking down in his car because he did not want to go back to work. There's a lot of like microaggressions and just toxic behavior. I made a video and shared it this week about toxic environments. People don't want to deal with that, especially for task-driven activities, right? It's not like you feel like you're making an impact. It's not really something you want to do. It's not like this is building your career and you can provide this service out yourself or whatever. That's not really fulfilling for a lot of people. So if we can get robots to do those jobs, but have opportunities for other people to do other jobs, maybe it's the creator market, I don't know. But if we can allow for other jobs and make sure that we're still increasing those, then we wouldn't need universal basic income. But if that doesn't happen, that may be our only choice. Otherwise, what happens when more people are in poverty? Crime goes up. The wealthy won't even maybe be safe. So there may be a time where they're like, we got to do something, right? We can't ignore it anymore. So I'm glad there's a conversation being had. I'm glad people are planning for it and thinking about what to do in this case. Mark Zuckerberg is another person that has been quoted to be for universal basic income. And of course, Elon Musk, who has said multiple times, like it's going to be inevitable. We need to see you in these dresses so we can decide. So I'm going to keep that to myself. I may share on my Instagram. Those that have my Instagram, I may share my do an outfit of the day if I think about it. But for YouTube, no. That would be nice for them. You know what? I'll save maybe a video or something and make that as a video for my super chat thank you, because I have those now. They're actually for it's like Ariel Silk stuff. So I added them in for anyone. If there's a super chat that comes through, I can actually do something extra. I've seen some other people doing things. So I was like, oh, let me do something like that. So in the future, if I get a super chat, I will, I'll think of something kind of quirky or different to do to say thank you, that sort of thing. But for now, Instagram, if you're interested in fashion and looks and makeup, I don't do makeup as much on here, so I might. And then fashion, who knows? But for now, I'm keeping it to the Instagram. But thank you. Hello, Sharky. Oh, Sharky, super late. We're about to close it down, but welcome. Thank you for being here. Let me know in the comments what you think about universal basic income. We had an interesting conversation. I think some of us have mixed feelings about it, which is okay. That's normal, because there's going to be a lot of pros and cons to universal basic income, which I think Perfectly Man-Made and Zero called out. So yeah, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. Zero saying, of course they will be on board with UBI because it won't affect them and keep them rich. I think too, they have to say something, right? They have to take that accountability, because Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, they're two of the tech innovators that are leading to this, right? This potential crisis that we're going to have. So of course, if they were to say they weren't for it, then we would be looking for them. Okay, well, what are you going to do about this? Because you're creating the situation, right? So that, yeah, I do agree. But I also think that they're just trying to cover themselves so that they can sound good as well. I also do think they're correct. I feel like I think they're correct if nothing changes in terms of opportunities for people. Maybe the content creator space is just going to boom even more. I don't know what that looks like. Okay, Zero. Well, with that, I'm going to close it out. Thank you all so much for being here. Had a lovely conversation with you all on this beautiful, sunny Saturday. And I will see you all in the next video premiere or in my next live chat. I'm trying to stay live on Saturday, so I will see you all soon. And thank you so much to Edward for being my moderator. And thank you so much for the members that came through today. I will see you all later. Bye.